Welcome to Bold Talk series where creativity, leadership, ideas, innovation come together. My name is Epi Ludvik, and today I have a privilege to have a short one-on-one conversation with Matt Ovenden, founder CEO at the Wine Engine. Matt, great seeing you. Welcome to our Bold Talk series. How are you?
Thank you, Epi. Great. Yeah, thanks for having us back on.
Awesome. Well, Matt, we know each other for quite a while now. For the background with your marketplace that you had around boats, borrow a boat. But let's begin with your earliest spark. What first pulled you toward entrepreneurship? And do you remember a defining moment that made you realize this was the path for you as an entrepreneur?
Well, I've been an entrepreneur since 2009. Actually, the Wine Engine is my fifth business. I think I set the first one up. I guess we're talking about when I first started that setting up businesses out of frustration, probably with where I was. But I'd spent a good 7 or 8 years in a big company, leading teams, all technology projects, and I think it gave me a grounding experience. And then I felt after a while that company couldn't offer enough for me to stay, so I decided to go it alone and haven't looked back, really, even though it's been times challenging, amazing highs and challenges along the way. Learned so much. It's what I like. I like being in control of my destiny a bit more.
Nice. So, Matt, so you built these two ventures in very different worlds. One is in boating and one now it's the Wine Engine. What connects them for you on a deeper personal level? And give us like, how does the Wine Engine works and what's the business model of the Wine Engine?
Sure. The similarity between the two is that, well, personally, I'm passionate about both things. I think that helps. If you're going to build something meaningful in a space, you need to care about that space and about what you're building. I like to build businesses that I would like to be a customer of. I think that's always a starting point. It solves a problem, provides a better customer experience for something. So I did that with Borrow a Boat. Boating needs to be easier to access, easier for more people to go boating. And now with the Wine Engine, I'm making wine more accessible, great wines easier to access. Although they seem quite different industries, they're similar actually in a few ways. I mean, they're both fairly premium industries that are very large, very mature, both quite traditional instinctively. So with boating, we were with Borrow a Boat always trying to bring a fresh approach, probably going against the flow of the wider industry to cut through and realize, it wasn't too aloof, it wasn't too snobby. It was open to new entrants. And I think with wine, it's slightly similar. The industry is also guilty of being a bit aloof and hard to access properly, even though it's such a widely popular product. So there's similarities. There's always similar that I'm building a marketplace, a digital marketplace, growing the digital channels is the same as well. Many things cross over, but also many things different. So it's interesting. It's a different take. I'm not afraid to cross industry sectors. I've done it before. I've been in rail. I've been in renewable energy. I've been in eco islands. I've been in boating and wine. I think for me, it's always where the innovation is needed is where I want to go. But usually in a mature industry that's looking for a new solution or is in need of a new solution is where I like to involved.
Nice.
Your second part of your question, sorry, on the Wine Engine, you asked how it worked. It's a subscription box for wine. It's the fastest growing subscription box for wine in the UK at the moment. It's the most flexible, puts you in control. You choose what goes in your box. The more bottles you get, the more you save. You get save up to 15% of all wines. We're listing over 600 wines and growing fast. We're going to be have the biggest range of wines available of any of the wine clubs and wine subscription boxes out there. Customers can be more in control, and if you follow along with our content, you're going to learn a lot about what great wines out there and what you can drink and that along the way. So it's going to be fun to follow this journey, I think, and it's going to deliver savings to people. So if you save 15% off what you spend on wine, you can drink better wine, right?
Yeah. How big is this subscription model of wines? I remember my first trip when I went to Napa Valley. I was with a really good friend of mine, and we were just going tasting, doing a wine tasting. And we went to this, I forgot which winery. And then the salesman was really good. And he got me to subscribe to some of his wines. And I went back to home. Back then I lived in New York, and I just kept getting these wines like all the time. I got this selection of wines like crazy. They were coming faster than I was able to drink them, man.
Right. Well, that's a problem, isn't it? I mean, there's nothing worse than wine arriving that you don't really want or need or want to drink. I mean, what I'd say, if you subscribe to an individual winery, it's obviously great if that's all you want to drink, but you are going to get the same ones, obviously. A lot of wine clubs, they're guilty of, they give you the ones that they choose, the wines, because they've got certain ones that they've bought in bulk that they want to ship or whatever it is. And they will handpick the wines for you, they say, but actually giving you what they want to give you. And that's also problematic because, again, you have that experience of wine turning up that you don't really want and you didn't choose. So that's why it's very important from the beginning that this is the customer's completely in control. Like, you can log into your customer portal at the wine engine, you can pause a shipment, skip a shipment, cancel. You can change what's in the box. It'll say, did you enjoy last month's wine? Do you want the same again? Do you want different ones? You swap every bottle out one at a time, or you can change. You've got 600 to choose from. You've got all the famous brands are going to be there. We're about to have all the famous champagne houses on there. We've got Whispering Angel, the well-known ones are all on there. So all your favorite wines are on there, but all the new ones that we're promoting are coming through that don't have a lot of exposure in the UK on there. That are really, made with care and very high quality, and they're amazing. I'm discovering them as I'm going along, and I've been blown away so far. So it's a subscription where you're not tied to a narrow choice. You're in control.
Mm-hmm.
You can stop, pause it, because people don't always have the same amount of wine requirement every month. You might have a lot of wine left. I don't want this month's box. Pause it. I'll skip this month. Or you've thrown a massive party. You've drunk all the wine already, and you want one earlier, so you can log in and do it earlier. And still get the saving. Just by committing to our subscription, you make the saving.
That's what I used to do when the bottles became too many bottles. I said it's time for throw parties.
You tell me.
Everybody loved my wines when I used to do parties at home. So Matt, across both businesses, what have you found to be the biggest leadership lessons when it comes to scaling a team under pressure? When you're like, I'm not sure if you're going with the investors route this time, but in a previous business you gone with investors, understand like what it takes, like in terms of the demand and what you need to do. What are those biggest leadership lessons you got?
Yeah, we've certainly had so many challenges at Borrow Boat over the years. I mean, Borrow Boat at one point had a team of 90 people with offices in 4 countries. I think one of the biggest challenges actually to scaling, I found, was getting the right people, actually getting good people that you can rely on to grow with you, or that have the hunger or capability to push boundaries forward and drive growth. Yeah, it's very difficult sometimes to find those right people. Sometimes people want to stay in their lane and just stay what they're doing, and we're more ambitious than that. You're trying to drive growth, and you come up against these obstacles. So it's hard to, you're going to scale up teams with growth, although increasingly, especially with the wine engine, it will be more tech-driven growth, using the latest AI and automation tools. But that was the biggest thing I think we had at times, being able to get the right people who had the right growth mindset when you leave it.
Yeah. Now, obviously, like a great people, and then these people also need to be aligned, right, with the values and mission, the goals. Do you find today that's probably very difficult to do? Because there's so much distraction out there.
It can be. I mean, sometimes I often found people weren't as bold as me or as I wanted them to be. I'm driving it. I've got some big ambitions. And I used to find we had people in the teams or on the board as well, actually, who weren't as ambitious or were more cautious. This is the way around it was in my business. So are you driving it? I wanted to do this, do that. We'll drive this forward, and we're getting pushed back. This is why you can't do it, but if you live by those, we wouldn't have had the business in the first place. I wouldn't have founded Borrow Boat or the wine engine. I believe where there's a will, there's a way. You can overcome huge obstacles. If I told myself how far Borrow Boat has come when I founded it, I would hardly have believed it. But we scaled it to such scale, 400,000 users. I mean, we've acquired 5 competitors when people told me it wasn't possible to do that. Crowdfunded it over and over again when people told me that would fail. So You just got to have that belief that you can do it. And then the trouble is, other people sometimes don't share that belief. So you're trying to find those people is hard. That's what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
if you're not careful, then people will hold your business back.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a lot to do with the mindset here, right? So how are you going to be able to get right people, the right mindset? Because I truly believe the mindset is so important that skills they can always learn if they have the right mindset. But if they're great in skills and the mindset is not there, it's very difficult to get them on board and buy your vision, right? So
And you're going to incentivize them correctly. I think incentives come into it. Share, whether that's share options or just a good package. But often these guys may not be as bold in their thinking, to coin the phrase of the brand of the talk here, because they're not entrepreneurs themselves. Otherwise, they would be starting their own business. They're not doing that. They're working for you. So they have a different, sort of slightly different mindset, perhaps. Anyway, then you've got to get them to work with them and give them the confidence that you can do it and that we can all do it. And just, as I say, not let them hold you back. We've definitely had that over the years.
now with the wine engine using AI helping people discover wines, what excites you about this intersection of AI and personal taste?
Yeah, this is exciting because, as you know, we're on the cusp of some sort of AI revolution where we can't quite grasp how big it's going to be, but it is going to be big. It's going to, involve the entire way e-commerce works, the whole way we consume things, live, work. Everything's going to change with AI in a positive way. I don't see it as it's just some sort of negative effect. It's going to take jobs. That's the pessimistic view of it. It's going to be great. It's going to make our lives better. AI for wine, I mean, what strikes me is there's a big opportunity. It hasn't really been adopted in the wine industry much. It gives me an opportunity coming in from the outside. And this is partly why I like to change industries sometimes, because you have a fresh approach. The industry gets in sort of down a road of lock-in. They put technological lock-in or mindset lock-in. It's thinking in a certain way. It was like this with boating. When you come in from the outside, you could bring a fresh approach. With boating, it was peer-to-peer, was new. And this time, AI is new to wine. I think the possibilities are huge. You can use a lot of intelligent data points to suggest wines to people that they will like, and you'll get feedback that they like them, and it will be a reinforcing cycle. And you can basically start to tailor wine cube suggestions to people, but careful to keep them still in control, because you don't want to take control of put the wines in the box for them, but you're just going to suggest it. So it's kind of passive in that way, but it's suggesting. And someone called it the other day like the Spotify of wine or the Netflix of wine. Like, it gets to know which ones you've liked or responded well to or reviewed, and then it's trying to serve you up more of that sort of thing, or things that it thinks you will like as a result of liking what you like. That makes sense.
Great. Matt, great seeing you here. Thank you for joining me this Bold Talk series. This is a short format conversation. Last time when we did this Bold Talks, I asked you a question about what does the word bold mean. This time, I'm not going to ask you that question, but I'm going to ask you, how was your experience with bold words when you attended last time? I think it was in Venice.
It was great. I had a great time. You guys put on a brilliant event, seeing a lot of interesting people in the room, interesting talks, locations. I like the theme of it, to be honest. Being bold, rewarding people who take bold risks. We're setting up businesses, we have to take risks, we have to back ourselves and be bold. And I like the way you guys focus in and reward that, where people have done that and it's paid off, and it's worked. So the ethos of the feel of the event was great, and you guys did a great job hosting.
And you look great in a bow tie, by the way. So, Matt, great seeing you. Looking forward to seeing you again soon, maybe in London or some other place. Wish you great success with the wine engine. I think you're into something really amazing. People drink wines all the time, bad times, good times. People drink wine. So this is a really incredibly amazing industry. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again soon. Until that time, take care, be great, and be bold, my friend. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.